Hi, Ben here again with Amtex, showing you the first symptom, which is one of the simplest repair that you can perform right away and get the baby going. Sometimes the machine might be sitting for a long time, and once you turn the machine on and you're trying to do some kind of rinse and injection, and the injector doesn't work. The injectors are located at the head of the pump. But you notice, if we follow that black hose, it's gonna come all the way to the meter in here. So if the meter is not working and is not picking up chemical, again, like I said, we're gonna go back to our pump on the table. Might be two areas that you want to look at. Number one, first you take the head of the injector off. So you have a retainer, big nut, which if you want to loosen it, if it's tight, real tight, you use a 1 1/4 inch wrench. Now, first thing you check, you want to make sure there's an O-ring here. Might not be, it might be tore up, might be melted, might be missing, so make sure that's there. Make sure the tip of this injector is extremely clean. That way you'll be able to nicely seal the hole inside of that injector. Alright, if that's not a problem, no problem. Right, we're gonna put it away. Now if you look in here, there is an O-ring. Okay, one of the best way to get out, just use a small safety pin. Do not try to tear it, just kind of get it out. You can use a needle head and grab it. And I guess I'm gonna have to put my glasses on because old age is catching up with me. So there we go. We're gonna get the O-ring out. We'll put it to the side. Now, we're gonna go, this is called the injector body, which is gonna go take it off. You can use a 30mm or 1 3/16 wrench, or even you can use the same 1 1/4, but make sure you don't strip it. Strip the edges because this is brass. Gotta screw it out. Why are we doing this? Because two areas in here that may cause the problem with siphoning the chemical. Number one is inside of this injector body there's a check valve, which I'm gonna push it out. Again, I'm going to use the same safety pin. I go from the back. Number one, make sure this hole is clear. In other words, it's not packed with dry chemicals, calcium, limes, and what have you. By putting this through here and gently pushing the check valve, it will come out. So if you notice there's nothing else, it's just the body. That's not the problem. We're going to go ahead and take this apart, but before we take it apart, you want to see if it's operational. There is a ball bearing here, which as you push it down, it should bounce back up. Now let's open it, see what's in it. Again, using the same safety, now maybe a flat screwdriver. So I can get it in here. Okay, I guess that's not gonna work. Try not to damage this thing. So all I'm trying to do, see if there's a spring in here. I want to make sure that this spring is in place. Okay, almost. Now I can get the screwdriver in there. There you go. Sorry for taking too long. As you pry it apart, you should have 4 pieces. This is the baby that does the job, and there's the ball. There you go. Now I'm going to go ahead and put them on top of this yellow sheet of paper. You'll be able to see. That's the back. That's the front cap. There's the ball. Of course, most important of all is the spring. If the spring is broken, you need to probably either order one or find one in areas like a hardware stores and what have you. But kind of clean this by dipping it inside of a CLR. Make sure that hole is clean. In order to put it back, if you notice this area, there's enough opening for this spring to safely sit in. Then you go ahead and put the ball back on in the center. As I'm shaking, and I'm gonna go ahead and put the cap back on. And make sure when you put it together, you hear a snap. Now, again, before you put it in, make sure the ball bounces up and down. That means we have a great operational injector check valve. Now what this does, when the pump is running, if you remember the plunger, we're going in and out. As the plunger pulls back, it kind of pulls the ball back. It allows the chemical to go in. As the plunger pushes forward, the spring pushes the ball forward and kind of clogs the opening. Again, this thing is done so fast, which allows the siphoning of chemical into your pump. Let's say everything was okay with this, no cloggage, no lime buildup, no calcium. We're gonna go to the major area. That might be the problem. Again, glasses back on. You need a small pliers to get it out. Here's the check valve, which does the job. Of course, there is an O-ring. I'm gonna get out. And of course, if you look in the end, there is a plate, which this is the only cylinder that has it. All of these, they don't have that piece. This, if you do not put these, the injector will not work. By putting this plate, which has got a smaller hole than the other one, you're creating that Venturi effect, which allows the pump to siphon chemical. So we're gonna go ahead and put the O-ring to the side. There's our injector. Here's our orifice plate. We're gonna go ahead and take this apart. Again, check valve that consists of 4 sections, just like earlier. You do have the cover, you have the plate, you have the body, and of course you got the spring. All right, we're gonna go ahead and there is no buildup in here. Everything looking good. In order to place this, it doesn't go with this face down. It'll go the way you see it. The reason for that indentation is to hold on to this spring, which of course you're gonna come back and put the cover back on. Again, you wanna hear the snap. Now again, test it. Look and see if it's operating. All right, if this is fine, we're gonna go ahead. Now if sometimes this might be burned, which of course that's gonna come in the area when I'm gonna show you how to change your check valve, which is gonna be in a video, which is gonna be designated if you lose pressure, what to look for. So if the check valve is burned, that's for the problem that you were not injecting, or even if there was any damages in here, clogged hole, or if the check valve was damaged, that's why your injection was stopped. Now to put it back together, which all of these steps are going to be repeated over and over again for you to become the master of your machine. We're going to go ahead and take our orifice plate, put it at the end against the back wall. Go ahead and put this O-ring. You don't just put it right over it. If you look inside, there is a groove right there. I know you can be able to see exactly for this O-ring to go in and stay in place. Very gently put everything back in place. If I'm doing right here, my O-ring is in place. Next step, put the check valve. Don't matter what position you put, just make sure that you push it gently all the way to the end. We're gonna come back to our injector body. All right, we made sure everything was clean. If you want to clean it, you can remove that seal and just dip it in some CLR. Make sure the whole entire orifice is clean. Very simple. A lot of our customers, they accidentally, as they see that indentation inside of our injector, they go ahead and put the O-ring in. No, it doesn't go that way. The reason that little groove around the edges is for this part of the plastic to sit in. Look. So you simply just push it in. Now you go ahead and put the O-ring on the top. Yep, on the top, not under. And slowly tie it in. Of course, use your wrench. There is no reason for you to wrestle with this thing. As long as you kind of tie the injector snug in place, it's fine. Right there. Of course, there are some torque table that Hypro recommends, but then again, Hypro recommends if there is no torque wrench, do not over tie. So next, you simply put the injector back on, and your injector should become operational. Now, of course, you do have your knob here. As you turn it clockwise, and if you notice the 0 is lined up with the hose bar, that means 0 injection. As you turn it counterclockwise, any number that lines up with this on the first turn indicates gallon per hour. So if I go all the way around, I'm looking at 9-gallon injection rating per hour. If I go another time, I'm looking at 13-gallon now. So that's how it works. Again, I want to thank you for your time. This was how to take your injector apart, inspect it, and put it back in place. Again, we'll see each other in near future videos. Thank you.